Welcome to Zalinga Media, voice of the voiceless. Dear viewers to Zalinga Media, where we bring you the most authentic and ground-level updates from the conflict zones across the Indo-Burma region. Stay informed, stay empowered. Heavy clashes across Myanmar. Junta troops suffer major setbacks in Sagaing, Mon, Bago, and Kachin States. Yangon, April 27th. The escalating conflict in Myanmar continues to bring about significant losses for the military junta, as coordinated resistance operations in various regions have dealt serious blows to the army's morale and strategic hold. Recent battles have demonstrated not only the resilience of local resistance forces, but also the growing sophistication and coordination among anti-junta groups across Sagaing region, Mon State, Bago region, and Kachin State. Reports indicate numerous fatalities among junta troops, critical captures of senior officers, and the seizure of important military equipment and outposts. Sagaing region. Mass casualty for junta forces in a precision ambush. In Sagaing Township, tensions already simmering for weeks due to frequent troop movements finally erupted into a major clash on April the 25th. A military column consisting of about 50 soldiers from the notorious Infantry Battalion 33, stationed at Shang-U, attempted an advance toward the villages of Min Kone and Padu. Anticipating their movement, combined resistance forces, comprising local PDFs, People's Defense Forces, and Township defense units, laid out a meticulously coordinated ambush. As the military convoy made its way through a narrow, forested trail, resistance fighters launched a sudden and overwhelming attack, using a combination of automatic weapons, explosives, and tactical maneuvers. The engagement lasted for over an hour, with fierce fighting that pushed the junta forces into complete disarray. According to field reports, at least 25 junta soldiers were confirmed dead at the scene, while many others fled into the nearby forests, abandoning their equipment and wounded comrades. Weapons such as assault rifles, grenade launchers, communication devices, and substantial ammunition stockpiles were seized by the victorious resistance fighters. Several bodies of junta soldiers were reportedly recovered, although exact numbers are still being verified by local defense groups. Despite the heavy blow inflicted, local resistance warned that this was not the end of the threat. Multiple battalions of junta forces have been observed regrouping along the Sagaing corridor, aiming to reassert control. The public has been urged to exercise extreme caution as military reinforcements, including drone reconnaissance units, have been deployed across rural Sagaing. Mon State. Strategic rocket attack disrupts junta battalion operations. In the southeastern region of Mon State, resistance operations reached a critical milestone on April 24th. The Mon State Revolutionary Force, MSRF, in cooperation with the new Mon State Party, Anti-Dictatorship, NMSPAD, and local People's Defense Forces, carried out a daring attack on the junta's Light Infantry Battalion 588, stationed at Motkanin, Ye Township. The operation was launched at approximately 1:30 p.m., with resistance forces deploying 5107mm rockets precisely aimed at the battalion's key installations, including their command center, weapons depot, and living quarters. Eyewitnesses reported plumes of black smoke rising from the battalion compound, followed by heavy secondary explosions, indicating that munitions stored inside were hit. Although junta media outlets have refrained from disclosing casualties, resistance sources confirmed that 3 of the 5 rockets scored direct hits, likely resulting in considerable enemy losses. The attacking forces withdrew immediately after the operation without sustaining casualties themselves. This success is notable, considering the heavy surveillance the junta maintains over Ye Township, using aerial drones and intelligence units. Mon State, a historically restive region, has witnessed a surge in resistance activity, especially in rural townships like Ye. where anti-junta sentiments remain strong among the population. The MSRF reiterated that such operations would continue, with the ultimate goal of dismantling junta administrative and military infrastructures across the region. Bago Region. Targeted assassination of junta administrator in Minhla Township. In a bold act of local justice, So Win, the junta-appointed administrator of Middle Hill Subdivision in Minhla Township, Bago Region, was executed by local resistance fighters on the evening of April the 26th. So Win was widely reviled by the local population for his role in forcibly recruiting young men into the military through coercion, threats, and false promises. He was also accused of systematically extorting money from civilians under the guise of security levies and draft exemptions, further deepening resentment against him. At around 4:30 p.m., as So Win traveled along the main road near Kantlangan village, fighters from Thariyawadi District Battalion 3802 intercepted and opened fire on him. He was struck by 5 bullets at close range and died instantly at the scene. Resistance fighters seized several items from his possession, including critical documents believed to contain lists of conscription targets, substantial amounts of cash extorted from local villagers, and his motorcycle. The operation was conducted cleanly, with no civilian casualties reported. Following the execution, the battalion issued a public statement warning other junta collaborators and administrative personnel that they would be held accountable for crimes against the people. This targeted strike has sent shockwaves across the Bago region, where many junta-appointed administrators now fear for their lives as the resistance's network of informants and fighters grows more effective. Kachin State. Major breakthrough in Bamo offensive. In Kachin State, the situation around Bamo Township continues to intensify as the Kachin Independence Army, KIA, and aligned Kachin PDFs press their offensive against entrenched junta forces. Over the past few days, resistance fighters achieved a decisive breakthrough by seizing 5 strategic military outposts operated under Infantry Battalion 21. In a stunning development, they also managed to capture the battalion's commander and several key officers alive, an occurrence that rarely happens in the brutal realities of this conflict. The capture of senior military figures has not only boosted the morale of resistance fighters, but also provided an invaluable intelligence opportunity. Sources inside the KIA indicated that interrogations have already begun, aiming to extract information on troop deployments, supply lines, and junta counter-offensive strategies. Fighting around Bamo remains fierce, with junta forces desperately attempting to send reinforcements via the Ayeyarwady River and aerial resupply missions. However, relentless resistance attacks, combined with challenging geography and widespread popular support for the KIA, have rendered many of these efforts unsuccessful. Control over Bamo is seen as a critical strategic objective, given its proximity to the Chinese border and its role as a logistical hub for junta operations in northern Myanmar. A successful capture would significantly weaken the military's presence in the north and could tilt the balance of the conflict in favor of the resistance in Kachin State. Widespread impact and warnings. Across Myanmar, these latest developments represent a noticeable shift in momentum. Resistance forces, once reliant on guerrilla-style ambushes, are now capable of launching coordinated, large-scale attacks against fortified military targets. Civilian populations in affected areas are being advised to maintain extreme vigilance, especially in regions where junta forces are known to conduct indiscriminate airstrikes and artillery shelling in retaliation for resistance victories. Humanitarian groups have raised fresh concerns over potential displacement and civilian casualties as the junta ramps up its brutal 4 cuts strategy, targeting food, finances, intelligence, and recruits in resistance strongholds. Nonetheless, the string of recent victories has provided a much-needed morale boost to both resistance fighters and civilians alike. reaffirming their shared belief that the junta's grip on power is slowly but steadily loosening. Thank you for following Zelengam Media. Thank you for staying with Zelengam Media, your trusted source for unfiltered updates from the front lines. If you value truthful reporting and want to support the voice of the voiceless, please subscribe to Zelengam Media for more news, analysis, and special features. Stay strong, stay informed. Victory belongs to the people.